Welcome back, everybody, to the grand final for tonight's qualifiers. Is going to be Hazard up against, of course, the wonderful team in Trash, who we did see earlier tonight. I am your caster and host, Son of Jupiter. Joining me, of course, is Tico. And we have to mention this to the chat. Both of these teams are already qualified for the mini-series that we are hosting in a couple weeks' time. This is now for bragging rights about who comes first, obviously, but also a $30 prize pool for the first place participant. So still something to fight for, still something to work towards, but either way, they will both be in the mini league series.
Yeah. So they still want to be going for the first place because there's a little bit of a bigger prize pool for the winners that take away the first place, but doesn't necessarily mean they're at a huge deficit if they lose this game. So I wouldn't be too hard on myself if I was in the losing team. But still want to go for first, still want to win every single game and say, hey, I won every single game I went through today.
I mean, exactly. You want to have the bragging rights moving forward because I feel like if you're able to get the first seeding, especially on the first day, it's going to be a bit of a ego boost, a bit of a confidence boost as well, because you're able to say, I am the best at this point in time. So definitely a strong situation to go in. But let's have a look at the teams because we haven't seen Trash in a little while. We also haven't seen at all what Hazard are bringing up. And I would love to know who is on these teams as we're going in. So it's going to be, of course, the side for Hazard is going to be Schmoopinator, Negative, and Cyrexel going up against Trash, which is Baked Potato, Paradise, and Loki. I've got a bit of a brain fart. I can't seem to remember. Oh, Jimby. There we go.
Yeah, so we saw how dominating Trash were in the semifinals against the Six Man's Battalion. The defensive lineup was strong. How they played was they sort of played from the back, which was great to see how they did that. Mounting the pressure, making sure the defensive line was solid before they actually tried anything in the attack with any form of counterattacks. Their passing plays were strong as well, but their highlight, as I said, was probably their defensive play. So we'll have to see how Hazard are going to be able to mount up against the pressure or against the solid defensive lineup like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a massive ask because we did see some really strong gameplay coming out of Trash, but Hazard, again, is one of those teams that have been around for a little while. I know, as I said earlier, that Schmoopinator, Cyrexel, and Negative have been putting a lot of practice in and been doing really, really well. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out as we do have all players are in the lobby. We're going to get this started straight away because it is, again, a best of 5, but there is bragging rights available. So let's get them in. Let's get this game started as we move into our grand final match between the blue side of Hazard and the orange side of Trash.
Let us know which teams you guys are going for in the chat so we can so you guys can show your support. But yeah, getting into this first game, everyone is loaded in. We're getting ready for this ball. We see a Merc coming out from Negative.
Yeah, sure. An interesting situation. I was watching a content creator named Lethal for Life stream last night, and Negative and him did a 1v1 where he was in the Merc. So this isn't just a meme choice. I feel like he has been maining this for some time. So let's see how it works out for him, as we know that Tango is also a Merc main. Nothing really coming out of it just yet as Paradise takes the ball to the corner. Baked Potato will take over from him. Nice first touch. He's able to try and get a second, but Cyrexel instantly challenges, makes it awkward. But a little bit of presence here from Trash, and it looks like early starts are working for him as Negative once again is demoed by a member.
Yeah, well, some people might say that the Murder Merc is a thing, but Negative is definitely feeling the pressure of people demoing him. They do have to be careful with that one, though, because it does take them a little bit out of the rotations if they do decide that they want to focus down Negative a little bit. So, not too much pressure in terms of people having dominant or dominating rights right now. But then we see Negative taking a beautiful, strong shot into goal.
Okay, so Negative being credited that one, but it was a bit of a double commit there by both players. I don't know whether Cyrexel managed to get a bit of a bump on Negative, which increased the power, because it was 113 kilometers, so an absolute banger of a shot coming out of Hazard. But either way, they do take the first goal and the first lead of this series in the grand final.
Yeah, we know how powerful those hook shots are because you can utilize the momentum from a angle and then put it onto towards goal. So a lot of this power comes out from those hook shots, but we'll have to see if they're going to be able to recreate that sort of thing because the passing play between Cyrexel and Negative was strong. They were able to get a lot of passing plays going early on, and so we'll see if they're going to be able to maintain that as well.
That's going to be the question. How are they able to maintain this pressure? Although Negative does manage to put it into a good position. And Cyrex was able to come up with a follow. A bit of disconnect here on the goal line is going to create some chaos. But luckily, they do hold stronger. Schmoopinator couldn't quite connect onto that. Negative now taking control of the ball. Goes for a long clear. The Baked Potato is there and waiting. Cyrex opts to take this a bit slow. We'll look to pop it up now. Can't quite connect with Schmoopinator for the pinch play. But he does get the bump. And a beautifully executed play by the keyboard main himself.
Oh my gosh, look at this one. Taps it up, follows it through, gets a beautiful bump onto Paradise just in front of the ball so that he can float in right behind him. A beautiful bump play and what we like to call the undefendable shot.
It is, yeah, exactly. It's very, very near impossible to defend those unless you're in the right position to start up, and you never ever predict that kind of touch there. But beautiful little team synergy there coming from Trash. They did manage a team pinch which pushed them into the right position, but they couldn't quite manage a second touch to put it in. And now with a 2-goal lead for Hazard, they're looking quite strong as we're nearing this halfway mark. Negative takes it past one, gets it past Baby Potato. Actually, no, Baby Potato gets the read, can't quite get the double, and Schmoopinator will clear.
Yeah, they do have to be careful with that. But now Cyrexel, seeing what he can do, puts it right towards mid. But Demos coming out from the side of Trash really goes to show how aggressive they're sort of aiming to play.
Definitely. The aggression is what led them to some success in the first series that we were able to see. They were very aggressive on the ball, were able to rotate and keep the rotation shallow. But with a structure like they have from Hazard, it just seems like it's not going to be the answer, as Negative will keep the ball up to Schmoop, who takes a shot, but Paradise gets the block.
Look, they're still doing really well in terms of their defense. Trash are holding it really well. With 2 minutes left on the clock, it just shows how Hazard is playing to counter this defensive structure, which is their passing plays, which is, an open goal. For Paradise.
To be fair, not quite an open goal. If you look at how this ball came to be, just a beautifully executed pinch, an accidental pinch as well, if I do say so myself. It'd be a very big brain play if they were able to do that purposefully, but they managed to just pinch it, beautiful timing, and they caught the defense off guard, get the goal back.
Yeah, they played that rather cleanly, I have to admit. We love to see those pinch plays, just getting pace on the ball where the physics really shouldn't be doing that, but, you know, it's a mechanic in Rocket League, and I'm not complaining. But Negative, getting some control, doesn't have too much boost to take that dribble, so he's going to probably alleviate some of the pressure. Doesn't mean that the rest of his team is.
Interesting touch there by Paradise. I saw the way he challenged that. He got just enough of a pop there to alleviate that pressure and stop the attacker. So a bit of a big brain play there. Not something that I would personally do, but it worked out either way as Jimby does take a shot on. Beautiful power coming through by Cyrexel, backing up his teammate well. Although the passing play very well executed, but Schmoopinator again was able to read it. And now we're into this final minute of gameplay. Are they going to get a goal back, or is it going to be Hazard taking out the first win? As again, the passing plays from their teams very well executed.
They just need to maintain this lead for now. 30 seconds left on the clock. Trash do not have as many opportunities to take these. Their goals come from counterattacks, which is their strong suit. So they need to play to that, but it means that it needs to come from a defensive rotation. And that also means that it needs to come from an attack from Hazard, which is very hazardous, as we can see. Schmoopinator taking another.
Schmoopinator just waiting patiently, hoping for the miss that did eventually come through by Baked Potato. Just over-committed to the ball in terms of where he thought it was going to be, and that allowed Schmoopinator just to get an easy putting goal. So 3 goals to 1, 16 seconds remaining. It looks like Hazard will be able to walk away with game number 1 unless something drastic happens, which at this position it doesn't look like it will, although could have been an opportunity there, but unfortunately it wasn't able to put it in. Baked Potato taking a weak touch, Negative keeping it down, and Jimby trying to keep this ball up is to no end as they can't get 2 goals at 0 seconds. Hazard taking the first game.
And they take the first game quite convincingly with a 3-1 advantage in this first game series. Best of 5, so they still need to win 2 more games to be able to take this one away and take the finals away. But we'll still... Hazard, they've been playing really well. They have a good, strong attack. They've got the good, strong passing plays. And Trash, they need to make sure that they are ready for that sort of thing. I do think that the challenges need to be a little bit more quicker coming out from Trash, because that I feel like Hazard are given a little bit too much space in terms of getting their passing plays going.
Looking at the statistics on the board, it does seem like they're not completely out of the game. Trash still had a lot of relevance as well. It was really just how efficiently Hazard were able to be on the defensive side. They managed to get 5 saves from 6 shots that Trash put on, which means that they're pretty much always blocking that ball. And that one shot that didn't get counted for would have been a wide shot. So there's not been any real opportunities for Trash to really step up and, take away any kind of possession from Hazard. Hazard seemed to be in control of the map. They seem to be controlling the play style, and that's really where the disconnect is coming.
Yeah, so they do need to get a little bit more communicative in terms of getting their attacks going. But look, Trash are playing this really well. As you said, they have been applying the pressure. They've been doing what they need to in regards to their playstyle. But I also do think that when they're coming up against a team like Hazard, it's very different against playing like a team like Six Mans, because Trash are playing aggressive. They've got demos going. They're trying to get as many things going as possible, but really against a team like Hazard, they just need to make sure the passing plays are not on target.
Exactly. You want to try and mitigate all the fast play from Hazard, because they do play very, very quickly. As we see Schmoopinator getting very good first touch here, gets the dunk advantage as well, and it keeps the ball relevant. Cyrexel unfortunately giving the ball away there. Jimmy now with the solo play can't quite get the flick, and for the time being, the defense of Hazard holds strong.
Yeah, but for how long will it hold strong for, we'll have to see. They do take the dribble, though. Negative's in control of this ball. Tries to get a touchdown for his teammates. Not going to be able to get much from that. It does go over to Cyrexel, though. The control coming out from Paradise to stop that defense, to stop that in the defense is really good. And as we said before, Trash Can are clean with their rotations. They just need to make sure that the passing plays do not make them fall apart.
This was just a bit unfortunate. You see Jimby there getting beat by Cyrexel. Paradise forcing a touch there, thinking that he had no time, and really he didn't. It's a bit unfortunate there, but that weak touch meant that Schmoopinator was able to come through with the dunk and the read and get the first goal. So a bit unfortunate there for Trash. They were just caught out in some really awkward positions, but that allows Hazard to come through again. And hang on.
Wait.
How did that get in?
Was that off the diagonal wall? Yeah, it was. That's just an awkward angle to get shot at, and no one was really ready for that one to come through. They thought it would just bounce across the goal line, but no, it takes its time, dribbles itself into the goal, and gives them a 2-goal advantage.
I mean, definitely not what you expected to come through so early into this match. 2-goal lead again in favor of Hazard, and this is looking dire for the situation for Trash, because if it's anything like the first game, this could be potentially another win going towards Hazard. Although there is plenty of time on the clock, 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. There are shots coming through as well, but that inaccuracy is going to plague them as they do miss a shot on net.
Yeah, there was no one ready for that shot to come out, so if that was on target, that might have been able to give them another goal advantage. Shots coming out, so many, all 3 members involved. Baked Potato takes the cake.
This is almost a direct mirror of what happened previously, just everyone committing from the side of Hazard, and that allows Trash to come through with a very easy goal. And that's where being kept in an awkward position, being kept, in a bad rotation is going to hurt you, and your teammates, or the opposition, sorry, will be able to capitalize. So well done by Trash to keep the momentum and keep themselves relevant in this game. They're going to try and go for another awkward play as Paradise gets a bit of an awkward touch there. Nice little dish there by Jimmy, but couldn't quite get the read, and now the counter attack is on. It's a 3v1. Paradise has to do well and does fantastically. He's able to get a very long EU clear, forces out a touch by Cyrexel, and now he can keep the pressure on by putting it back forward, but Negative is there and waiting.
Oh, Cyrexel talking about there and waiting. Beautiful redirect shot coming out onto the floor. That's for an open goal. No one's going to be able to take that shot there. Negative continuously putting the pressure here. And eventually the Schmoopinator takes one of those and puts another point for their team.
This is where I have to pull the question in for the side of Trash is you can see that Paradise and Baked Potato rotating at the same time, which is obviously cause for concern for their rotations. It means that they're not rotating efficiently and they're leaving themselves exposed to Hazard setting up pretty much any play that they want. So hopefully they're able to mitigate that moving forward as Negative is able to get a touch and actually tries to go for a second but can't quite get the read. And that's a bit of time and space to Trash now.
Talk about time and space. I don't really think they have too much of that when the Schmoopinator and Cyrex are like, nah, look, we're coming in for that ball whether you like it or not. Negative. Good clear, somewhat of a clear. Over to mid. But they are getting some good defensive clears going, making sure that the pressure is not in favor of the Trash team, however. These clears are just pretty solid.
Very solid indeed, and that was definitely a planned pinch there. And Cyrexel with the cleanup. Hazard feeling so confident in this match, and they extend their lead now to 3 goals with 2 minutes remaining.
And that was a good demo off the back of that as well. They tried to get some pressure, but with a 4-1 scoreline, it does seem like Hazard is taking their advantage, taking this 2 minutes with a 3-goal advantage. Schmoop, don't do him dirty.
Almost did. Would have had the double opportunity, but he would have had very low boost cheating on that kickoff. You only end up with about 50-odd boost as you cheat up, so couldn't quite get the touch that he wanted. Keeps the pressure, though, which is always a good sign, and Baked Potato getting an awkward touch allows Schmoop to keep going forward, but he gets a whiff. Negative going for the shot. No one on the backwood as Schmoop takes out Paradise, and now Hazard are running away with it.
Yeah, that was a good bump coming out from one member. Another beautiful bump coming out from the Schmoop to be able to stop Paradise from getting those rotations. 2 bumps, and off the back of that, they score a goal.
Honestly, this is a completely different Trash team that we saw in the first match. And this is where I have to draw the fact that they did have a long wait in between matches. So once they won that semi-final, they had to wait for the conclusion of our 3rd place match to be able to play again, which is a long time to wait. That was about a 40-minute wait for them to, progress through to this match. So fatigue, obviously, being cold as well might be a factor. Hopefully it isn't as we, pardon me, progress forward. But Trash at the moment just not looking the same as they were previously.
Yeah, well, they do need to get some more pressure going, but I feel like it's a little bit too late in this game. Maybe pick up the momentum for the next game, but I do think that a reset is required for this team to get their mental state back in order, or back in shape.
I would have to agree. 47 seconds now on the clock, ball in favor for Hazard as Negative gets a touch. Jimby on the back wall though, ready for the clear. Links up very well with Baked Potato, but Paradise just a little bit disconnected from the passing play. Can't be there, but now can't move the ball forward. Negative though. Reads the ball well, manages to go for a bit of a solo play. Links up with Cyrexel, almost pinches it, but will leave the ball in Baked Potato's hands.
Negative getting a beautiful take over. He's going to be able to take 1, take 2, but he's not going to be able to outplay Jimby. Getting some shots on net. Baked Potato getting a dribble. Let's see if he's going to be able to pick up anything with that.
Unfortunately, nothing, but he does manage a couple of flip resets there to just kill a bit of the time, which does work out for the favor of Hazard, actually, rather than Trash. And now with 1 second remaining, they'll let the ball hit the ground, and Hazard walking away to match series point.
With a 2-0 series advantage, they are looking very comfortable, and I feel like they do have the advantage when it comes to the amount of goals they've scored, the amount of pressure they've applied on the Trash, and taking this, they should, in theory, be able to take it for a 3-0 victory, but we'll see if Trash are going to be able to turn this on their head.
Yeah, well, this is the question now. Good teams obviously have the opportunity to get back, but great teams are able to, be in this situation where they are currently 2 series points down and they are able to reverse sweep. And looking at the lineup, Baked Potato, Jimby, and Paradise, they definitely have the opportunities. I feel like they can step up. It's just keeping Hazard at bay. And at the moment, Hazard are just rotating so efficiently. They're feeling confident, and there's no real holes or gaps in their gameplay to exploit.
Yeah. I do feel like Trash are doing as much as they can. They're working really well. They're getting some decent clears, but they really need to make sure that these 50-50s are challenged early because, as I said before, Hazard are given a little bit more time than they should be. Trash are, especially in the air, these 50-50s aren't 50-50s because they have the time to dribble, they have the time to pass, and I do feel like if Trash want to be able to turn this around, they need to make sure that the pressure is applied not towards the rotations, but maybe focus on the man-to-man.
Yeah, exactly. Although Jimby doing some really good work there on the front line, trying to move the ball forward, but there is a team bump and a dunk by Negative, and Negative just managing to get some really awkward touches at the moment. Puts it in for Schmoop, and the dish absolutely clinic as Smoopinator is able to put that one in the back of the net. But look at the way, the patience that Negative was able to create, the space as well for Smoopinator to pull.
That was just a beautiful display of teamwork, and as well as just the patience from Negative, as you just said. He played that so beautifully. Well, okay, there goes a man flying on the side of Trash. However, Schmoopinator now seeing what he can do with that one.
Tries to get the ball moving forward, and we actually have Jimby going for a nice touch there. Manages to get past one, but Cyrexel on the backboard, ready and waiting. Can't quite manage the second touch, but Negative will come through with the support. He goes for the solo play, tries to get the air dribble, but can't quite connect. Jimby, dangerous place to try and dribble the ball out of, but luckily doesn't get punished at the time. Cyrexel putting it to the corner just to buy a bit of time, and now goes to the one clear.
Yeah, the Schmoopinator now in a little bit of a favorable position. However, his teammates aren't there. But as we see, Cyrexel, he is so ready for that counterattack. They know the style the Trash are playing or attempting to play, and they are ready for the counterattack.
They are definitely ready for the counterattack. It's almost like they have the book on how they're going to play, but there is still plenty of time for both these teams to get in. But those kinds of touches you need to clean up. Otherwise, we will see Hazard trying to capitalize on those opportunities. Baked Potato doing an excellent job at keeping the pressure on at the moment, but they have to try and clear this ball away from the orange side of the field, or they're going to be in some big trouble.
Yeah, Baked Potato, great clear coming out from him. Gets a shot on net, but great rotation. Smoopinator getting a demo off the back of that as well. All right, Negative's not having a fun day in terms of these demos, but he should be fine.
Ooh, not quite the angle that Cyrexel wanted to get there. He wanted to find the touch, but it is a very, very difficult shot on the fly to pull out. Although that also was a difficult shot that forces out a touch by Jimby. But now Cyrexel, what can he do? Pops it high. No member of Trash on the backboard, so he's able to get a second touch, and this is awkward. Although Baked Potato does do enough to get the ball out. Actually, no, Negative committing to that play, able to keep this ball locked forward, and finally we see Trash move the ball to the other side.
Cyrexel's ready for that. Never mind. He doesn't. A tactical whiff. Puts it over for his team, and they are able to get a clear off the back of that. Maybe a couple steps ahead of the game, but he does work in their favor. The Schmoopinator, however, trying to get a clear, going Negative as well. This is passing over to him. If they have time, they're going to take it.
They will indeed, but that demo is going to be massively
Oh my gosh.
Although, the solo play. Doesn't matter that Negative as third man was demo. Doesn't matter that they were almost ready to put it on. Schmoopinator with an incredible grab to flip that to his advantage. I honestly can't believe it.
That was gorgeous. I mean, he had two people to dribble past. He gets past one, and the ball is just in an unrecoverable position after that, that I don't really think that there was any way that Trash were going to be able to recover from that one. Not recover from that one, but in terms of recover that goal.
Definitely. Like, Baked Potato had already committed to that angle. He thought that Schmoopinator was not going to be able to get enough of a touch to put it behind him, so he was ready to run away with it. But that awkward touch has been something that Hazard been able to do time and time again. You do see a shot on there by Paradise, but it is soft, so Cyrexel has a bit of time to get the play moving forward. We're starting to see some pressure build by Trash, and there's definitely some time to get back into this.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of time, a minute and a half. We've seen it before. Rocket League is a game where magical things happen, but it really does take a change in the game, the team's gameplay for them to be able to change this sort of game, because Hazard aren't really doing much to change their game style. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, so they don't need to change it. It's really up to Trash to be able to turn this into their favor, and it really doesn't seem like they are doing much to do so. Either that or just Hazard are reading every single play they try.
Well, Hazard are just playing very solidly. They're rotating efficiently, and that's leaving them pretty much no exposure to be scored on. And that's where good teams will have that dominance, is just being able to be in the right place at the right time. A double commit there by Baked Potato and Paradise is not advantageous, although a bump by Potato almost puts the goal in. So Axel will take the shot, but does get blocked out by Paradise. But now all the pressure is in favor of Hazard. Baked Potato, though, trying to get some movement his way, manages to get the catch by Jim B. Puts it into a good spot, but again, the rotation is clean by Hazard.
Yeah, they are making sure that there's always that man on the defense, Schmoopinator, onto the back wall as well, just making sure that no way, Jose, are they going to be able to get anything towards that back corner. 20 seconds left on the clock, 2 goals to be able to pick back up. I don't know if they're going to be able to bring that back this finals.
It's going to be hard. They need to score pretty much right now. They need 1 second on the clock to be able to give an opportunity to get back into this. But every second that lingers down is going to count. And that is going to be all she wrote. Hazard sweeping the competition, taking home first place. Also a $30 prize pool, so $10 each player. But as we said, this was for purely bragging rights and a little bit of cash their way. Both of these teams will be progressing through to the mini league season 1. They can no longer play in the qualifiers. They are both qualified for their matches in a couple of weeks. So I guess at the end of the day, nothing really majorly lost aside a few bragging points and a couple of dollars.
And I do think they need to come off the back of this. Maybe consider what they might have needed to do to change that scoreline from a 3-0 to maybe a 3-2 in their favor. But well, again, yeah, they have qualified both teams alongside the Southern Stars Academy. All move on to the mini series. So congratulations to all 3 teams for being able to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Well done to our 3rd place winner of Southern Stars, Trash in 2nd place, and Hazard going through as the 1st place winners for the qualification. Well done to each and every team. Also, well done to every team who did participate today. It is not your last hope. There is another opportunity next week to do the exact same thing, but this time you don't have to go up against the Stars, Hazard, or Trash. You get to go up against a fresh lot of competition. So do keep that in mind. Definitely try and get yourselves involved next week. But for us at BlueBirds, that is going to be it. I would like to make a couple of shout outs, obviously, to the broadcast team in Payback and Jimmy. Thank you for setting everything up. Obviously, to my co-caster Tico, always keeping it rock solid and carrying me when I need support, especially with technical difficulties. But again, I am your boy, Son of Jupiter. You can catch me pretty much anytime on whenever I'm online. But besides that, there's nothing really much more to say.
Yeah, so guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope everyone had a great, pleasurable time in listening to our beautiful voices in Son of Jupiter. It's great to hear. It's great to hear your robotic voice, but your human voice was even better. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We will see you next week, I believe, for the exact same thing, exact same time. So tune in, and we'll see you then. Catch you guys later.